Hey Vault Dwellers, JV here, and today I'm sharing my thoughts on Fallout 76. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more Fallout 76 videos just like this. I do not take pleasure in making this video. In fact, this is my job. If anything, I want this game to succeed for as long as it can so I can continue making videos on it. That's a reality for me. While I didn't plan on making this video, I feel my experience has reached that point where I need to. There's enough of you here watching solely for Fallout 76 content that it feels necessary. The honeymoon feeling of diving into a new game has worn off, and I can evaluate my experience. Right now, I have a seriously hard time enjoying Fallout 76 because of the way it runs. The performance, the stability, and the bugs. They are way too prevalent right now, and it overshadows the rest of the game. I have zero issues with the concept of Fallout 76, so don't confuse my position as someone in the "this game should have never been made" camp. I actually really enjoy 76 when the game lets me enjoy it. This video is not a discussion about NPCs or the lack of role-playing. As far as I'm concerned, that's spilt milk at this point. If you're looking for that Fallout game, then you're going to be waiting until Fallout 5. I wish I didn't have to make these additional disclaimers, but in this climate, it's necessary. Even after I say what I'm about to say, I expect I'll be attacked by people on both sides. So let's start by addressing the "I hate Fallout 76" camp. If you're looking for a comedic video absolutely shitting on this game, this is not it. If I wanted 1 million views, I could have done that last week. In fact, all you need to do for views right now is say that Fallout 76 is a bad game. You don't even have to play it for more than 2 hours. That's really all it takes. My perspective is one of someone on the inside looking in. I've put maybe 75 to 100 hours into the game since the first stress test, so this is not someone thinking they can give accurate criticism after only a couple hours of playtime. Now, this is to the "I love Fallout 76" camp. No matter how harsh I'm about to be, I plan to cover this game for many months to come. All I want is for this game to improve, and this is meant to be constructive criticism. If you're hyper defensive about this game, it's important to realize that if you consider yourself a fan of the game, there's nothing a passionate fan can do more for a game than to criticize it. You can be critical and still really enjoy a game. Those are not mutually exclusive. In fact, if you really love a game and you want it to improve and you're ignoring the issues, you need to speak up. Bethesda won't hear about the issues and they won't fix them unless you speak up. Blindly supporting a game is a disservice to it. I refuse to do that, especially after my experience with this game. So before you attack me for being critical, ask yourself whether you want the game to improve or whether defending it until your dying breath is better for it. All right, with those disclaimers out of the way, let's dive into the topic of the video. This game is a buggy mess right now. Here's just a few of the most frustrating issues I've personally encountered. Carry weight randomly changes in power armor. Holotapes do not play in power armor. Enemies frequently T-pose or stand frozen in place and let me shoot them in the head. There are frequent hitches where the game pauses for like half a second for no reason, and half of the time I enter a workbench or even try to open my map, the game will pause anywhere from 3 to 30 seconds. You heard that right, and that's no exaggeration. I've witnessed my game freezing for up to half a minute before letting me play again. If anyone can explain how that's acceptable for a game that I spent $60 on, please enlighten me. I'm being yanked out of the experience for extended periods of time, and nothing frustrates me more. That's a problem you address before you sell a game and not after. Oh, and not to mention, I watched one of my teammates jump into another teammate's power armor last night. That's not supposed to happen, right? The one who jumped in the power armor proceeded to fall through the map, appear at Vault 76, and was permanently stuck in that power armor. As I'm recording this video, the teammate whose power armor was jumped into has lost that full set of prototype XO1 power armor. All those hours spent grinding for springs and screws, gone. It seems like the newest performance and stability patch just seemed to add to the performance, stability, and bugs issues, which is a real shame. Let's switch over to performance. General performance in this game is a serious problem. The game does not run at a constant 30 frames on consoles. And I'm not playing on my launch day Xbox One from 2013, I'm playing on a One X. It feels like you'll go to a certain area or perform a certain action, and whatever it is, that tanks the engine to a point where you're chugging along for the next hour or the rest of your play session at 15 to 20 frames. The problem only seems to magnify when you're playing in larger groups. My last nuclear silo run had me going at like 10 frames the entire time. The problem instantly got better when a teammate fast traveled back to camp to resupply, only to return to 10 frames per second when they came back. Now I'm going to stop those of you on PC who are currently typing a comment about how there's no problem. That doesn't mean there's not a problem on Xbox, and I've reiterated this several times and many people don't like it when I say it. 90% of sales on Fallout 4 were for consoles. So what does that leave? 10% of the community is on PC. Could be different for Fallout 76, I admit that, but parroting the stat that 29% of software sales over the last year were for PC doesn't change my position. PC is still a minority. It doesn't make it less important, it just means that more people are encountering these issues. The majority of the community are encountering 30 FPS and a lot of issues with the way the game runs. That's a problem, and whether it affects you or not doesn't change whether that is a problem. It's a problem. I watched a great video from Digital Foundry. It's a channel that evaluates games from a visual and performance perspective, and I've linked their analysis of Fallout 76 in the description because it really opened my eyes. I hadn't considered this issue. Are these problems fixable? Is performance something that can actually improve through patches? And I'm really skeptical, and that bums me out. Bethesda has said they wanted this game to last forever. How's it going to last forever if it runs like this? I want to enjoy everything this game has to offer, which is a multiplayer Fallout experience. That's what it is, but performance, stability, and bugs must be Bethesda's priority. I know I'm repeating myself, but it needs to be repeated. Some of you will be compelled to say, I'm not having these problems. All right, that's great for you, but that doesn't mean they don't exist and that they aren't a problem. In fact, that doesn't help anyone and only minimizes the impact of these issues. If anything, you should be saying, this guy over here is having problems, not, hey, I'm over here and I'm not having problems. From personal experience, all the hours I've sunk in so far were a week after launch. I cannot recommend this game to anyone right now. It's too frustrating. I'm thinking of putting it down over the holiday because it's preventing me from enjoying it. Sure, the stash should be bigger, we should be able to respec. Those things are important, but those are details for me. It's hard to even think about those when I'm utterly shocked by how much my game is freezing and crashing. I haven't even talked about crashes. This game legitimately crashes and forces me to restart it like 2 to 3 times per play session. Sometimes it's worse. And this is on both Xbox and PC. Something I also didn't mention, I also play the game on PC. That's how I stream it mostly, and for the most part, that's what a lot of the gameplay you guys watch here on the channel is recorded on. It looks better, and it's an overall smoother experience from a frame rate perspective, but the game still crashes. It still encounters these areas where the frame rate tanks down. The issues that I've mentioned in this video are not exclusive to consoles. For the rest of the video, I want to address a larger issue that many of the shock jockey negativity channels that thrive on, bad things happening in the industry have been covering, which is, how did this game launch in this state? Who decided at Bethesda, yeah, this is fine, we're ready for release? Newsflash, they were not ready for release. We heard from YouTubers and saw from their footage at the Greenbrier event that Fallout 76 didn't run super well. That was weeks before launch. I can't remember how long it was before, but I dismissed that as early code, something we would see improve and, hopefully would improve. I was wrong. That was the game, and while it has improved a bit, it's not at an acceptable state on release and a week after launch. That's a really harsh reality and kind of a sad thing to admit. Fallout 76 should not have been released like this, guys. It's a running joke to call Bethesda Bugthesda, but my God, I can't help but do it myself. How does this game run this poorly? Releasing a game that runs as poorly as Fallout 76 does would be a near-death sentence for most other studios. Imagine if Red Dead Redemption 2 or God of War released with performance hitches that pause the game for 30 seconds at a time. Now, those are other AAA studios. I'm sure they'd be fine and they'd be able to bounce back, but yeah, if you're not a AAA studio, this is death. If there wasn't an already established Fallout fan base playing this game, then yeah, it'd be really bad for Bethesda. The critic scores right now are hovering around 60% on PC and Xbox at the time of recording, but it's at a whopping 49% for PS4. That is genuinely awful. These are critics, people who are paid to do this for a living. I have to imagine that a lot of the weight of those reviews is carried in the performance and the stability and the bugs, and I hate review bombing as much as the next guy, but at this point, Bethesda needs a wake-up call. please fix this game so I can keep playing it, so I can actually enjoy it. Show me that the $60 I spent on this game came with the promise that it would be updated and run in an acceptable state, because as it stands right now, the unspoken promise that a game will release in a smooth performance and stability state was broken. It really was. From where I stand, Bethesda is in bounce back mode. They have to recover from this because it really didn't launch in an acceptable state. That's why I'm encouraging everyone that watches this video to not only use Bethesda's support site, I've linked it in the description below, by the way, so use that, but also use the hashtag #FixFallout76. And I would encourage you do that along with the hashtag Fallout76, because on social media, Bethesda's probably looking more at that. If we want this game to improve, we need to be vocal, very vocal. We need to report performance issues, report stability issues, report bug issues through the official support portal so they're handled properly, but also on social media. There's a lot of general gaming community hate on social media for Fallout 76, but for those of us that actually want the game to improve, we need to be loud about the issues, what they specifically are, and let them know as much as we can, or they will not be addressed. In the comment section, tell me if the performance of this game is affecting your experience. Share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe and hit the bell for more Fallout 76 content like my last video where I share my ultimate junk guide. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.